Brooklyn, new. Click the edit, raise me with a siren, sing lullabies. Through conversations, taught me truth before the books got wise. Corner store confessions, dollar chips and broken dreams. With a block could turn a halo to a hustle overnight, it seems. I seen prayers scribbled on the back of late notices. Mama's faith iron, hoping to my jeans like it was sewn in this. Cold winters, high tempers, short fuses, long nights. I learned early God don't flinch when the odds bite. I was walking with a pavement, knew my government. Cracks in the sidewalk, matching cracks in my confidence. They said the city don't love you, it uses you. But God met me in the grime and said I still choose you. I speak fluent survival, my tongue got a borough accent. Every bar carry weight like the cross when it's balanced. I don't rap to escape, I rap to document how grace pulled me out the chokehold, consequences sin. See, I was dancing with wolves, but heaven kept watch. Angels double parked outside the trap spot when my name was one bad choice. From a mugshot frame, he rerouted my steps, then reroute my pain. That's Brooklyn theology, learned it in hallways where the elevator smelled like regretted no bouquets. I watched queens turn losses into legacies and kings fold under pressure, chasing temporary thrones impressively. I rhyme with intention, every sentence got breath. I ain't chasing applause, I survived being left when silence was loud and the nights talk back. God whispered purpose when my post lost track. I studied the grace, lessons hidden in rhythm, where the truth hit harder than the kick in the snare system. Precision in thought, elevation in speech. If I say it, I mean it, I don't reach. From Mossy echoes to thoughts, mental gym. I learn intellect, move crowds quicker than rims. And Big taught me vision, paint scenes with your voice. So when I speak of redemption, you can hear the choice. I changed lanes mid-sentence, no signal, no pause. Faith gave me range, not just punchlines and flaws. One breath, I'm effective, next breath, I'm sharp. Scripture in the marrow, city in the heart. I was baptized by fire, escapes and stairwells. Learned heaven got Wi-Fi in the deepest hells. When my prayers bounced back like checks insufficient, God covered defeat, called it divine assistance. I done seen hunger teach patience better than sermons. Empty fridge, full face, that's a Brooklyn discernment. We didn't have much, but we had belief. And God stretched meals the same way he stretched me. Now I walk with authority, not arrogance though. Confidence clean when you know where you grow. I don't erase the scars, I reference them. Testimony heavy like the borough's rent. I speak for the girls who had to grow up fast, who learned strength early, cause softness didn't last. God didn't make me hard, he made me solid. There's a difference when your spirit ain't rotted. I don't flex for the cameras, I move with intent. Every step sanctified, every word heaven sent. If I'm here, it's purpose. If I'm loud, it's praise. If I pause, it's respect for the process and the days. I seen fake guys fall with a chain snap sound. Seen real faith lift folks when they face planted ground. I don't sell miracles, I live proof. From cracked concrete roots to unshakable truth. So when I rap, it's scripture stitched in street slang. A Brooklyn song with a boom bap bang. God didn't just save me, he sharpened my sight. Turned my struggle into structure, my wrongs into right. I stand here clean, no halo cosplay. Just a woman from the borough who found a way. And every bar testify, every verse confess that grace got hands and it knows my address.
Oh, man, hey, shouts out to Bolo, man. Shouts out to Bolo. Good grief. Bolo made that song, bruh. And when I heard that song, bruh, man, when I heard that song, bruh, I was like, hey, bruh, I don't know what you gotta do, bruh, but I'ma need that ASAP, bruh. I need that ASAP, bruh. That that joy fire. And you know, shouts out to Bolo, cause Bolo came through. He instantly was like, send me your email. Send me your email. I got you. I'll send it to you now. And man, it came to me ASAP, bruh. And bruh, that song is fire. He he said Dang, bro. It's so many bars in there, bro. It's so many bars in there, bro. Like, oh man, I ain't got time to sit there and break down every bar, but I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna play it again. But yo, the bars in there, bro. She was spitting, bro. She was spitting. Oh man, I think one of the bars that stood out to me was I think she said testimony heavy like the Burrows rant, something like that. Don't quote you. I'm gonna play it again, but and I'm gonna pause it at that part, bruh. That joy, man. Shouts out to Bolo, man, creating the good gospel music and and giving us a playlist that we can all jam to, like he has so many dope songs over there, and I can't wait for him to actually put the whole like album together and release it, bro. Because I'm gonna be playing a lot of songs off of there, man. He got so many good songs so far that he created. But that's one of my favorites right there. Um, Tonight for Bible study recap, we're gonna be going over the parable, the rich man and the poor man. And with the rich man and the poor man parable, it's in the Old Testament in Second Samuel chapter 11. So 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 my mama texted me asking me what time I'm going on. She must have just got back from Bible from choir practice. From choir practice. So she gonna be in here in a couple seconds. But yeah, shouts out to Minister Lisa. Minister Lisa went back to the Old Testament and found the parable that was crazy. I was like, dang, bro, how did you find that? Where you find that at? Man, she did her research for that one, bro, and it was awesome too. She did an awesome job. I told her I'm coming over her house with my plate because she was in there cooking. She's in there cooking last night, so I had to tell her I'm coming over my plate. I need some of that good cooking. What's up, Reverend Von Eric? How you feeling? I appreciate you sliding in, stopping in here. Oh, this is uh this is gonna be um an open discussion, just in case people want to come up and they want to ask some questions, or they want to speak anything. Let me put that in the chat. My mama in the building. What's going on, ma? How you feeling? Let me pin that real quick for the people. Uh, I gotta go to. I gotta go on the phone to do that. To pin that. There you go. It's pinned. It's pinned in the top in case somebody want to come up and speak on the parable and give what they got from it. But in all right, so I in order to do this parable. Oh, brother Vaughn up here. That's what's up. In order to do this parable, right? We have to go back to chapter 11, and we have to go to chapter 11, and we gotta read chapter 11 so that we can understand the parable and why the parable was given to David. Okay, so before we start, let me introduce who we got in here. We got brother Von Eric in here. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling pretty good. Good. How about yourself?
Man, I can't complain, brother. I can't complain.
No, that's
Uh,
good, man. Blessings to everybody. Blessings to you, everybody in the chat. I told you I was going to come up and support. So
That's what's up.
I gotta be for my word, be with my word that God gave me. So I gotta stick
Yes,
by
sir.
it.
Yes,
It's
sir.
great to be.
I
It's good.
appreciate it.
Oh, it's no problem. It's good to be up here, man. I feel honored, man. You preaching the word and you teaching the word, and that's all good when it comes to my book. You know what I mean? So we all soldiers, and soldiers gotta stick with soldiers. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's what's up, man. I As much as you're honored, I'm honored because like you said, we all gotta stick together. We all gotta do this, and and just to have a fellow brother up here, it means a lot. It means a
hmm
lot. That means one. I'm working in the Lord, and I'm doing what the Lord is requiring me to do, and
hmm
two, I'm bearing some fruit. It's showing that what I'm doing is not just falling on deaf ears, that it's actually reaching the people that it needs to reach, and is moving, is growing, and
hmm
and that's what the Lord wants us to do. He wants us to grow.
Yep.
Um,
That's
it remind and I was speaking on this about the parable of the mustard seed.
hmm
It starts off something small, and it seems at the time insignificant. It seems like this little thing, what's gonna happen with just doing this, but then you start to see it sprout, and you start to see it grow, and
hmm
become something that you would never imagine it to be.
hmm Yep. Amen. You're absolutely right. Something small to grow, and all the water and the glory and the holy water comes from God, and that what makes that mustard seed grow and blossom to be the biggest tree or whatever that your eyes can ever lay on. And that still ain't big enough when it comes to when God waters you.
Facts, facts. So let me take take my thumbnail down. We're gonna remove that for a second, and we're
hmm
gonna pull up the Bible, because my uncle tells me you're not supposed to give the word and not have the people read along with you. So when you
hmm
delivering this word, you have the people read along with you, so that they know that you're not making it up, or adding your own to it. They can read along with you and see what you're reading, so that they
hmm
can get the word as well.
hmm
um so in order to do this parable of the rich man and the poor man, like I said, we have to go to 2 Samuel chapter 11, and we're gonna read chapter 11, and then we're gonna go into the parable. Okay.
Okay. hmm
if I if I stutter, or if I mess up on a word, don't laugh at me, because
Nah.
nah,
Uh-uh.
I'm
I
just
do the
joking.
same. I do the same thing too. So ain't no laughing coming my way. If I do laugh, I'm laughing at myself too.
All right. So chapter 11. It happened in the spring of the year, at the
hmm
time when the kings go out to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with him, and all Israel,
You
and
said
of
chapter
all
11. I'm sorry. You
yeah,
said chapter.
chapter
What
11.
verse? What verse?
We going through the whole chapter
Okay, you started at verse 1.
in verse 1. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
David sent Joab and his servants with him, and all Israel, and they destroyed the people of Ammon, and besieged Rabbah, and David remained at Jerusalem.
Is that the same? Because on the screen it's different.
It's
Is that the,
it's it's a little different. It is
okay?
it is the same, but some of the words are changed a little bit because
Okay.
I'm reading from the King James version, and
And what's that you got on the screen?
this is,
Another version?
yeah, it's another version. I think mine's is the New King James, and this is the Old King James
Oh,
that's
okay.
on the screen. So some of
Okay.
the words may be different
Hmm.
because mine's is gives a little bit better insight of what words they was using at the time. So, but it's the same thing.
Same terminology. Yeah. Okay. Same
Exactly.
context. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got you.
same context. Yep. It's just some of the words are given in a better transcript so that people can understand what they were
Yeah.
saying.
Deeper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Modern understand. Modern understand. Yeah. I
Yeah,
got
modern understanding. Exactly. Then it happened one evening that David arose from his bed and walked on the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman bathing, and the woman was very beautiful to behold.
you. Hmm. I think you skipped one.
I
I
skipped
think.
one.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think you. Yeah.
there we go. So David sent and inquired about the woman, and someone said, "Is this not Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite?"
Mhm. I'll read 4 and 5 for you, so you can.
Oh,
I'll read 4 and 5.
okay, that's
And
cool.
Dave and David and David sent messengers and took her, and she came in unto him, and he lay with her, for she was purified from her uncleanness, and she returned unto her house. And here's verse 6, verse 5, I think. Yeah, verse 5. I say verse 6, verse
Hmm.
5. And the woman conceived and sent and told David and said, I am with child. And 6, David sent to Joab, saying, Send me Uriah the Hittite. And Joab sent Uriah to David. I say Uriah, but I think it's Uriah.
Yeah, Uriah.
Mm, Uriah. And verse 7, and Uriah was come unto him. David demanded of him how Joab did, and how the people did, and how the war prospered.
All right, I'll take over. And David said to Uriah, "Go down to your house and wash your feet." So Uriah departed from the king's house, and the gift of food from the king followed him. But
Mm-hmm.
but Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and did not go down to his house.
Mm-hmm.
So when they told David, saying Uriah did not go down to his house, David said to Uriah, "Did you not come from a journey? Why did you not go down to your house?" And Uriah said to David, "The ark and Israel and Judah are dwelling in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of the Lord are encamped in open fields. Shall I then go to my house and eat and drink and lie with my wife? As you live, and as the souls as your soul lives, I will not do this thing."
Mm, that's something.
Hmm. Wait till we start diving into the parable, though. Then David said to Uriah, "Wait here today also." and tomorrow I will let you depart. So Uriah remained in Jerusalem that day and the next.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when David called him, he ate and drank before him, and he made him drunk. And at evening he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his lord, but did not go down to his house. In the morning it happened that David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. Hold on, bro. I'm on live. You gotta give me a second. Uriah. And he wrote in the letter saying, set Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle and retreat from him that he may be struck down and die. All right, can you do me a favor real quick? Go ahead and read 16, 17, and 18 while I get this boy
Okay.
some cereal.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And it came to pass when Joab observed the city that he assigned Uriah unto a place where he knew that the violent men were, excuse me. And the men of the city went out and fought with Joab. And there fell some of the people of the servant of David, and Uriah the Hittite died also. Then Joab sent and told David all the things concerning the war.
I need to go down.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Verse 19. And charged the messenger, saying, when thou hast made an end of telling the matters of the war unto the king, and if he so be that the king's wrath arise, and he say unto thee, wherefore approach ye so nigh unto the city when ye did fight? Knew ye not that they would shoot from the wall? 21. Who smote Amalek, the son of Jerubberish, Jerubbesheth,
Sure.
and Jerubbeth. Is that Jerubbeth? Ah,
Sure.
Jerubbeth.
Man, I know these words.
Jibber,
Hey, y'all know what we
Jibber,
trying to say. No, it's all right. Keep
uh-huh.
going.
Jerubbeth's haste. Did not a woman cast a piece of milestone upon him from the wall that he died in Thebes? Why went ye nigh the wall? Then say thou servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also. So the messenger went and came and showed David all that Joab had sent him for.
All right. I'll go ahead and pick up.
All right.
And the messenger said to David, surely the men prevailed against us and came out to us in the field. Then we drove them back as far as the entrance of the gate. The archers, the archers shot from the wall at your servants, and some of the king's servants are dead, and your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also. Then David said to the messenger, thus you shall say to Joab, do not let this thing displease you, for the sword devours one as well as another. Strengthen your attack against the city and overthrow it. So encourage him. When the wife of Uriah heard that Uriah, her husband, was dead, she mourned for her husband. And when her mourning was over, David sent and brought her to his house, and she became his wife and bore him a son. But the thing that David had done displeased the Lord. Okay, so now we got our backstory um, covered. We're gonna read chapter 12, 1 through 7, because that's where the parable comes in at. So when we read the parable, we're gonna read it and then we're gonna dive into it and break down what's happening in the parable. Now, when we read the backstory, we heard a lot of what was going on, and David did some underhand, like he did some real foul stuff real quick. That was foul, and we're gonna understand why he received this parable. Now this parable is coming from the Lord. Okay, it's coming from the Lord. Nobody knows about this underhand thing that he has done except for David and Bathsheba.
Mm-hmm. What
So
David and oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. You know, as far as why she put him, are you saying as far as why he as far as what David actually did, you think she knew, or she just knew that he died? But do you think she actually knew that David, his actions or what he was doing? You think she knew that?
I don't I don't think I now when we get into it, it's gonna say something in particular, but
Mm-hmm.
that what her and David did, she knew, but her husband died. I don't think she knew an extent of how he died.
Right.
Because they was at war, so casualties come in war.
Right.
So she probably thinking like, you know, maybe he bit off a little bit more than he could chew and
Right.
ended up getting himself killed. But I don't think she knew that David sent him to die.
Right. Set him up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
At least the Bible doesn't go into detail and express that.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't express that, but it kind of gives you a hint towards
Yeah.
it. Kind of gives you a hint towards that when we read the parable, and I'm a emphasize on that part when we
Mm-hmm.
get there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chapter 12, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Lord sent Nathan to David, and he came to him and said to him, "There are two men in one city, one rich and the other poor. The rich man had exceedingly many flocks and herds, but the poor man had nothing except one little ewe lamb, which he had bought and nourished, and it grew up together with him and with his children." Let me slide this down just a little bit. And his children. It ate of his own food and drank from his own cup and lay in his bosom. And it was like a daughter to him. And the traveler came to the rich man, who refused to take from his own flock and
Mm-hmm.
from his own herd to prepare one for wayfaring man who had come to him. come to him. But he took the poor man's lamb and prepared it for the man who had come to him. Verse 5. So David's anger was greatly aroused against the man, and he said to Nathan, as the Lord lives, the man who has done this shall surely die.
Mm.
Hold on. And he shall restore fourfold for the lamb, because he did this thing, and because he had no pity. Now this is the end of the parable right here.
Mm-hmm.
Then Nathan said to David, "You are the man." Okay, so with this parable, we're looking at the rich man, and we're looking at the poor man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the rich man had flocks and herds. He had an abundance. The poor
Mm-hmm.
man didn't have anything. He only had one little ewe lamb.
Mm-hmm.
The rich man is David. The poor
Mm-hmm.
man is Uriah. The
Mm-hmm.
little ewe lamb is Bathsheba.
Mm-hmm.
The many flocks and herds, that's the many women that David, being though David was the king and he was ruling this area, David had an abundance of people that he could have chose from. But
Yeah, he had concubines and stuff,
it,
and more
it's
than one wife. Mm-hmm.
exactly. But when we look at the text, and and it says grew up together like his daughter. And a traveler came, in verse 4, and a traveler came to the rich man who refused to take from his own flock and from his own herd to prepare one for the wayfaring man who had come to him. But he took the poor man's lamb and prepared it for the man who
Mm-hmm.
had came to him. So in that sense, it's not really a man that came to him.
Mm-hmm.
In this sense, he's talking about David's temptation.
Right.
So the temptation of seeing Bathsheba out there by the water led David to act upon his temptation. And instead of him taking it from his own flock and from his own herd and feeding his temptation, he took
Mm-hmm.
from a man who didn't have anything. Now the part in this story is that David didn't see his actions as being wrong. He didn't see his actions as being wrong because he was guided by his own temptations for Bathsheba. He didn't think that what he had any consequences to it.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Now, now us as people, we often do that, and I like how Minister Lisa broke this. My minister came up with this parable, and I like how she broke it down, because if we use this in our own time, we often get caught up in our own ways. We often get caught up in our own logic, in our own thought process, that we may commit a sin or work and not think that we're doing anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the best part about this, is that when we keep reading, and we're gonna fast forward just a little bit and go to verse 9. When we go there, uh David, hold on.
You said verse 9?
No, no, not verse 9. My fault. My
Mm-hmm.
fault. Verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
We go to verse 13. It said, so David said to Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said to David, the Lord also has put away your sin. You shall not die.
Mm.
Now, in this part right here, David shows a sense of humility. He shows a sense of repentance and acceptance that he knows he had messed up. He knows he had used it. He had given in to his own desires and not moved in the Lord and how the Lord would have wanted him to do this.
Mm-hmm.
The the um the sin the sin was bad. What he
Mm-hmm.
did was what he did was horrible. You know what I'm saying? But the acceptance of that sin and the repentance of that sin was was the determining factor of why the Lord didn't exile him or put him in the death and give him the same uh fate that he gave Uriah,
Mm-hmm.
because he had accepted that he had accepted the consequences. He accepted that his actions was wrong, and he didn't make an excuse. Like, we
Mm-hmm.
might get into something, and then the first thing we'll do is be like, well, I was tempted by this it's because of this, it's because of that, but ultimately it's because of our choice and how we moved. You see what I'm saying? It ain't because somebody else moved that way, it's because how we moved. That was the sin.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't, if we want to stay in good spirits with the Lord, that's why it's good to repent when we fall short and stuff like that, and we don't make an excuse for our falling short.
Right. Yep.
So, and this parable was deep, because the way like I said, nobody knew of this.
Right.
Only person that knew of this was the Lord and David
Yeah.
and Nathan, because Nathan had to give the parable to him. But
To him.
Nathan didn't know why he had to give that parable to him.
Right. Right. Until it was revealed to him. Yeah. You're
It
right.
until it was revealed. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I said I don't think Bathsheba knew to that extent of what happened to Uriah, because they in the parable, they named it as a little ewe lamb,
Right.
and that is basically like a baby lamb that he had to nourish and build up and
And
raise.
purified the most
Yeah.
purity. Because it's I think it said earlier her purification, well, after her purification. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think she was loyal. I think she also had her mind, her spirit was also, I believe, also was pure too. Because I mean, their son did become the next king.
Yeah.
So over the king that was supposed to have became the king, the firstborn.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's a lot of information here, a lot of information to learn from.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. It is. It is. And that's just the first 7 verses. If
Right.
we go, if we continue to go like throughout the rest of this chapter, it
Hmm.
explains David having a consequence. And
Hmm.
I like how my minister brought that brought that into play, is that
Hmm.
even though you committed a sin, and
Hmm.
even though you repented and asked for forgiveness, at
Hmm.
the end of the day, you still have to face your consequence.
Yeah, that could
And
be. Hmm. You're right.
and and that's just like dealing with any parent. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? That's just like
Hmm.
dealing with any parent. You know that what I'm ready to do could get me in trouble if my parents find out.
Yep.
But then when your parents find out and you be like, yeah, I did that. Um, I apologize for doing it. Yes, it could spare the rod, but you still may have the consequences. And in this
Hmm.
sense, sparing the rod on David is not giving him the same death that Uriah gave him, but the consequence of his actions stem down from generation from his son's his first son's generation, and
Hmm.
then on top of that, the baby that he was ready to have with this woman, it didn't make it.
Hmm.
So the
Because
punishment
of
was
the, yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
because of the consequences. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But and then, like you said, how God's mercy and He had on David and the love He had. Their
Mhm.
next child was a a a a a great child. He was wisdom,
Yep.
full of wisdom and everything. So it does show, even though you may commit a sin, when you do and you feel remorseful within your heart, because remember, David was after God's heart. That was one of the
Yeah.
gifts that he had. And he felt deep in his heart what he did was wrong. And like you just said, he still had the consequences to suffer when they lost
Mhm.
that first child. That could be that is devastating because David felt in his heart for God and for God's people. He
Yep.
felt it was he didn't look at the people like they was just regular subjects to him or just people that was under his rule. He loved his people as God loved the people. So and
Mhm.
that's the love that he had because he was always after God's heart. And that could be devastating. That was devastating when he lost people. Now just imagine how he felt losing a child,
Hmm.
a born child. So yeah, I think like I said, it's a lot to learn here, and it's a lot to see the pain that he felt in his heart and
Yeah.
overcome his wrongdoing. That's a lot. Overcome your wrongdoing, but be sincere in your heart when you know you have done wrong.
Facts. Exactly. And that's the moral of this parable. That's
Hmm.
the moral of this parable. You know, we'll look at the punishment greater than looking at why we got punished.
Correct. Yep.
I I did say I was sorry, and I
Mhm.
and I did tell you, yeah, I did that. So why am I
Mhm.
still getting punished? You still
Right.
getting yeah, you still getting punished because
Yep.
you knew better than to do this from the beginning.
Right.
You
And
see
then
what I'm
some
saying?
and some punishments is needed for you not to go to that path again. Because
Exactly.
some people, they did prayed, cried out, and once God blessed them, they went back to their ways.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? He
Yes,
didn't,
sir.
and the people did it again, went back, and this time he had to. You have to smack them or do something to wake people up. Some people you have to do certain things to for them to wake up. Some people you don't.
Yeah.
Some people you do. It's certain things that certain wrath that people need to wake up so they won't go back there again.
Mm-hmm. And and what I like about this what I like about this story
Hmm.
was that when when David had to face the consequences of the baby dying, you know,
Hmm.
he still put it in the Lord's hands. He
Exactly.
still gave the Lord the option to work. He still
Mm-hmm.
gave the Lord. He didn't take it upon himself and try to heal the baby or find somebody who can heal
Right.
the baby and fix the baby. You know what I'm saying? He
Right.
he put it all in the Lord's hands because he knew
Yeah.
what he had did was wrong. So
Mm-hmm.
his way of fixing it was giving all that to the Lord, and throughout this chapter, chapter 12, it says he was crying and he
Yeah.
fasted and he mourned. He
Yeah.
mourned for that child to
Mm-hmm.
be here, and he asked the Lord and he prayed to the Lord that he didn't take that baby from him. But when the baby ended up passing, David got up, cleaned himself up, went in the house, started worshiping the Lord, and to know that your baby is gone and still put that in the Lord's hands, and it just shows amount of faith and strength and humbleness and obedience, that we need to have on a regular basis, because a lot of the stuff that we go through is not as deep as this.
Yeah, that's true.
And we go
Yeah.
through stuff, and immediately our first thing is to shut down and crash out, and try to fix it, and do all these different things. Here it is, David had a whole baby just exit, you know and he knew it was going to happen. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It wasn't just spontaneous. He knew that this was going to happen. We don't even go through half the stuff that David went through, and we immediately start converting back and looking and taking it in our own hands. Like the faith that he had, the faith that David had in the Lord is astounding, and that
Mm-hmm.
and that we should really take this message that David, this book of David, we should take this and actually use this in our everyday lives, because again, we barely go through half the stuff.
Yeah, you're absolutely 100% right. It's something to learn from. It's a lot to learn from. It's a lot in this situation, and to learn even on the woman's side, the guy's side, even like Uriah,
Mhm.
he has spoken even in the New Testament when it comes to going through the genealogy. They even put his name in there. Which it didn't have to be, but they put his name is in there when they go through the genealogy. Um, when it came to all the way down from Adam and Abraham and things like that, his
Yeah.
name is spoken of. But even on his part, what he did, he was like, "Nah, I'm not going in to my wife and be here with my wife while my fellow brothers out there fighting a war."
Mhm.
That he was like, nah, I want
Yeah.
to be with them to, be out there in the midst what I need to do to fight for Israel. And he was a
Mhm.
Hittite.
Mhm.
You see what I'm
Real
saying? So
talk.
that goes to show, even though he wasn't like of Israel, look where his heart was, though. His heart,
Yeah.
and that's what it is. You could be born with any ethnic groups, whatever. But God looks on your heart. Look at where your heart was. Yeah, this is
Mhm.
not. I wasn't born of them. Yes, I'm a Hittite, but look, I want to fight with my brothers out there to defend the land, to fight for my king, God
Mhm.
given king that God gave to us. Yes, I want to be out there fighting, just like everybody else did. That's to me, that's a strong willed person with a strong heart.
Yeah, that's honorable. That's
Mm-hmm.
honorable, because because and like you said, David tried his best. He tried
Mm-hmm.
it, and And this is why when we look at it, we look at the word covetousness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Covetousness is it's a sin. And it
Mm-hmm.
describes a multitude of sins, not just one. It describes a multitude of sins. And when we look at that word covetousness, right? Looking at that word is described as being the mother of sins.
Mm-hmm.
With being the mother of anything, it it is referring to birthing. So covetousness births multitudes of sins.
Mm-hmm.
Being adultery, one being theft, one being murder, one being greed, lust.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, um, I'm thinking of another one. Lust.
You said greed, right? Which is you said greed,
Yeah,
right?
I said greed. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. You said lust,
Greed,
uh,
lust, adultery, murder.
murder.
Um,
Um, you talking about like the commandments? Some of the
no,
commandments?
I'm
Uh,
just I'm just
oh, you
naming.
talking about? Yeah,
I'm just naming sins that comes with covetousness.
right, right, right,
And
right, right.
and when we look at this parable, and Minister Lisa broke this down. When we look at this parable, David committed 5 sins.
Pretty much.
He
And he actually committed. He actually, well, if you want to say technically, oh yeah, yeah, that right there, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
he did.
he, yeah, he
Because he
committed
ate the
a
food with,
multitude of sins.
yeah, yeah,
We
he
look
did.
at we look at adultery, we look
Mm-hmm.
at lust, we look
Mm-hmm.
at greed, we
Mm-hmm.
look at murder,
Mm-hmm.
theft. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So he
Mm-hmm.
committed a multitude of sins. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
murder would be sending your brother out there on the front line, and
Yeah,
he
purposely.
says that. Yeah,
Yep, he did it purposely for him to die because that was the only. Basically, he did that because that was the only way for him to actually be with her and for them to be together for him to pass. That's why he did that.
also, that's the only way he was able to keep his secret,
Yeah,
because the first thing he did was brought him back from war. Was like, "Oh, you tired, bro? Go get some food. Go chill
right.
with your wife," hoping that he would have laid with his wife and that he could have passed the baby off on
Yeah,
Uriah.
he could have.
But then
Mm-hmm.
when Uriah like, nah, I'm gonna sleep here because nobody, I gotta protect you
Yeah,
because you're my king. You know what I'm saying? And then I gotta
yeah,
think about my brothers. So just in case I gotta go back, I can't be laid up with this woman, and I might have to hurry up and go back into battle.
right. Yeah,
Then
mm-hmm.
David went and got him drunk.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So hoping that when he got him drunk, he would have that desire to go lay with his wife. But he like, nah, bro, like this is bigger than that. The mission is bigger than that. So the only way he could keep that secret was that he sent him off in battle to die.
mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. That could be. Yeah, yeah. That could be a thing for him to do and stuff like. Yeah, that could be one of his motivation to do what he did.
Hmm.
Was she Hittite or was she from Jerusalem? I don't think does it say that she was a Hittite.
Um no, it didn't.
I
It
thought he was,
Yeah, when read
but it
we
doesn't
read
say
that,
was.
it doesn't say, yeah, it doesn't give us a designation when they brought her into the topic.
Yeah, I didn't
It
see.
just
I,
said,
I didn't see her as because I was wondering. I was just thinking, was she a Hittite or was she of Israel?
Daughter of Eliam. Uh, let's see. Let's see where Eliam was from. Hopefully they give us a destination.
Yeah, because I was just sitting here thinking, I was like, was she? Because I know they mixed, but I also know that that was one of the things for them not to do is to mix with strangers. So that's why I was like, is was she?
Nah, it says Eliam was her father, and he came from Judah.
Oh, he was from Judah, the
Yeah,
tribe of Judah.
yeah,
Oh, okay. So she was from. So she was part of Israel. Okay, all right. So she married a Hittite. Okay, all right.
yeah. And in that time, we gotta remember, in that time, David had multiple different people from
Mhm.
different sets all in one area.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but I was just see, I was just wondering because one of the rules was they as far as mixing with strangers, but
Yeah,
even though we see signs of it and we see some of it in the Bible, but in strangers is a broad interpretation because
right.
you could be stranger by birth, but not be strangers when y'all believe in the same God and the same
God and stuff.
knowledge and things like that. So
Yeah,
yeah, I was just because I was just wondering, I was just thinking, I was like, was she? But yeah, her father was from Judah. Yeah, because he was the king of Judah 7 years before he became king of Israel. Because he wasn't king of Israel at first. So yeah. That's it. Okay.
yeah, yeah. That man, this was a dope parable though,
Yeah, it
where
was.
like
Uh,
like like I said like I said though, with understanding with understanding, what David has done, you know,
mhm,
we could take a lot from this, and
mhm.
we could use it in our everyday life.
Oh
And
yeah.
this is how this book is supposed to be used though. And I
Oh yeah.
and I always refer to this book as as a tour guide.
Right.
When we use this book right, it's a tour guide to righteousness.
Right.
We see a lot of the stuff in here, and we see a lot of stuff that was the demise of a lot of people, but we
Right.
don't really take from that. We use the stories. Oh, he was like this, and he was good as this, and I want to be like Samson, and we take the good parts of the book and try to use that, but we don't really recognize on the bad parts and how that was their demise and stuff. Because when Bolo read Samson,
Hmm.
I was like, that's crazy, because Samson had so many warnings. He
Oh
had so
yeah.
many.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like he gave him so many chances to change his ways and change his
Mhm.
life and stuff. But Samson was so caught up in his own lustful desires that he didn't heed the warnings. And when he went and finally gave in to his temptation, and let the woman cut his hair,
Mhm.
we seen the whole downfall of that. But
Yeah.
everybody forget about that downfall. Nobody takes that downfall as a lesson. Bro, like you really can walk yourself into something that you're not ready for if you don't heed these warnings.
That, that that is very true. Yeah, that if you don't take heed and you don't pay attention, yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
can lead your life into destruction and
Yeah.
death and death.
Yep.
Yeah, that what that story was that story was crazy too.
Yeah. And then on top of that, on top of
Hmm.
that, when he had the chance to repent
Hmm.
and he had the chance to actually do something right,
Hmm.
what he did was he put himself first. He still
Hmm.
put himself first because he didn't apologize to the Lord. I apologize, Lord, for my sinful ways and not listening to you and I want to
Hmm.
do what your will. I want to work in your will. What he said was give me my strength back so I can take vengeance on the people that took my sight. So he's
Right.
still thinking about himself. He not
Hmm.
he not even thinking about the Lord and why the Lord got him in this position. Because
Hmm.
as we can see, the Lord never left.
Right. Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The Lord never left. He was
Hmm.
still there with them. He just stripped them of his powers because he wasn't using them how the Lord wanted him to use them. But then when he gave him his powers back, he said, "All right, I got you. I'm gonna grant you that, but being as though I'm gonna grant you this, it's gonna be your last time."
Right.
And look what happens. He dies right there when he finally does what the Lord wants him to do. He took his
Yeah.
last stand.
And Solomon ended up betraying him too, with other women putting up uh, 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 false gods, the gods of the women that he was with. He ended up
Hmm.
betraying God too. Yeah, we do have to look at, like you said, our lustfulness of the world, and part of that is looking at yourself above God, and don't have God first to lead you,
Hmm.
to take His hand, to guide you, to show you. And like you said, the book is just your instructions.
Yeah.
It's your instructions to walk the pathway for you to have eternal life, for you to get out of, to escape death or escape other things in this world, heavy consequences. That book helps you if you believe in
Hmm.
it and if you take heed in it and ask God to give you the full understanding. Yeah.
Yeah. Remove yourself from the picture and just allow the Lord to work how he's supposed to work. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of what I get from reading these books and stuff is that once the people started removing themselves and what they wanted and what they wanted to do and let the Lord work how he was supposed to work, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of stuff started changing for them and a lot of things that they was doing was greater than what they could even imagine. And like I said, that goes back to the mustard seed. Just having
Mm-hmm.
that little bit of faith and stuff, it grows into something that we cannot even fathom. We can't even
Mm-hmm.
think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just by looking at this, how do I get this?
Right.
But that's
Yep.
not on us to determine. We gotta keep pushing and keep doing what we doing, and then that
Right.
stuff comes. And then by the time we really look at it, we done grew so much. It's like, wow, look where I came from. I came from this, the bottom of the bottom. But now, look at me now. You know, and that's where that good testimony comes into play.
Mm-hmm. Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I got. Yeah, that's one. 100% right. Can't get no greater than those words. Absolutely right, brother.
Man, bro, I definitely appreciate you coming up here, helping me read the word and giving me your input and your feedback. You know, that's a blessing. That's a blessing, man. You know, because
Mhm.
I would I didn't expect nobody to come up here. You know, and I just read. You know, I
Mhm.
just go ahead and do it. If people come in and they can sit in the background and listen to me
Mhm.
do this,
Mhm.
but to have you actually come up here and give me feedback and you know help me dissect the word, and that's a blessing, man. That's a blessing. It just shows that the Lord is moving on this channel and moving with the people that I'm surrounded, you know, I'm surrounded by.
Oh yeah, man. I feel hey, it's a blessing to me. I feel honored once again. Like I said before, I appreciate you. I thank God that is within you, which is in us all, to move you to do this channel, to come up and read, to come up and dialogue and show what God gave to you, what makes it your point of view, and spread it throughout the world, or as we say on this platform and things like that. We need more brothers like yourself, to come up and set up this platform like this and just dialogue, just talk about it. You have your interpretation, your understanding. Another person has their understanding, um, and to come together as brothers and sisters and have different interpretations, but yet still be unified in the word of what we are
Hmm.
seeing and what God has bring us. I think that's a wonderful thing and a blessing to experience and to be around. So man, I pray God keep giving you the strength to keep doing this, man. I'm proud of you that
Thank you.
you did this and picked this up. I even tuned in. I seen your church. Uh, uh,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, I tuned in and seen and listened to a couple of that, the pastor and things. I think I might have been at that church too, because my father is was a pastor. Well, he still is. He just don't preach anymore. But
Mm.
he was a pastor. It seemed like I was thinking, I was looking, I was like, I wonder if Dad preached at that church, because that's one of those
You in
things. That,
Baltimore?
yeah. I'm from Yup, live in
Oh,
Baltimore. Yup.
okay, okay. So
Yeah.
you might be familiar with that church. That's Mount Hebron on over there on the east side, off of Harford Road and 25th.
Yeah, I think, yeah. How long your pastor been there?
He been there for a couple years now, and before my, because that the preacher's my uncle. Before
Uh-huh.
my uncle took over, it was Pastor Simon.
Yeah, ask them, do they know a pastor named Reverend Walter Brown? They probably, he was well known back.
Re-
He was well known.
Reverend Walter Brown. All right,
Yeah.
I got you. I'm.
He used to be, Tom, he used to be, he came out of Ivory Temple,
Mhm.
The Ivory Temple on York Road. No, that's not Ivory Temple. Is that Ivory Temple? No, he was a pastor of Ivory Temple.
Right.
That's on Liberty Heights. He came out of he came out of Wilson Park on York Road.
Okay.
That's where my father came out of, Wilson Park, and he was the last preacher. It was between, that was, I think it's Good Shepherd on Park Heights. Good Shepherd
Mm.
on Park Heights. His name was Reverend Hunt. He died a few years, but before Reverend Hunt got that church, it was between my father and Reverend Hunt, and Reverend Hunt and that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That, man, hey, look, man, we gonna have to yeah, we gonna have to link up and get you over there, so you can, yeah, you can get that testimony, man. I
Yeah.
I love I love to actually link up, because because my uncle's gonna watch this too, by the way. So
Mhm.
he probably hit me. He probably hit me like, yeah, I know that guy. So he mess around and
Yeah, he
hit me.
probably, yeah, he probably know my dad. Know my dad. My dad was,
Yeah.
he had a couple. He was Ivory Temple. I keep forgetting the other churches. He was a pastor. I know one of them was in Towson, but
Okay.
one of the other one was in Towson. I forgot the third one. But yeah, my dad was pretty known. Matter of fact, they called him the imitation of what's the singer Sam Cooke, because he sang like Sam Cooke. Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. I like
Mhm.
Sam Cook too. Sam
Yeah, my
Cook, my
dad.
guy.
Yeah, my dad sound just when he sung, he
Yeah.
sound just like Sam Cooke. And my dad has a few things, had like a few gospel. He was in a gospel group, all that. But yeah, 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 yeah. I'm sure they might.
Okay.
He heard of my dad, or
Yeah.
that church looked familiar because my dad used
Yeah.
to. I used to always go with my dad to evening service after he preached. He used to have evening service, and other churches used to call him. And it sound that, and when I was looking, I was like, wait a minute, I think I've been in that church before. But it looks like
Yeah.
it looks like, because I've been to a lot of churches with him. But yeah, man, it's
Okay. That's dope. Yeah, we gonna have to link up. You in the Discord, right?
which Discord?
Bolo's Discord.
No, I don't know Bolo's Discord. I have Discord, but I'm not in Bolo Discord. I
Okay,
gotta
we
get
we
that.
yeah, I gotta get you on in Bolo's Discord so we can chop it up. I can't get my stuff out on here, so
Right.
yeah, I gotta
Yeah,
get you in the Discord so we can we
yeah. I
can we
look.
can link up.
I join his Discord. Then we can see if we can set something up. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was born and raised in Baltimore. Yeah. Mhm.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Look at that. We got native in the building. We got a native in the building. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what's
Born
up,
and raised.
man. I definitely appreciate you even tuning in to the church joints, because a lot of the stuff that I do want here, and a
Mhm.
lot of the ways I break down the word and stuff, I'm learning that from my uncle,
Oh,
cuz
okay.
yeah, I'm learning that from my uncle. My uncle, he gives me advice on how to break down certain things, and how to approach
Mhm.
certain things when I'm speaking and stuff. So
Mhm.
he helps me out with
Okay.
that. So that's
Okay.
what that's why I always pull up the Bible while I'm reading my Bible. I pull up
Mhm.
the Bible, so at least you can see, even if
Mhm.
even though the words aren't always the same, the concept of the words are the same. The
Oh, okay.
story is the same,
Mhm. Right.
because it's just a different transcript. That's all. I for some reason I can't find the New King James transcript, so it gives
Mhm.
me the old one. But
Mhm.
like I said, when we
You
read
go
it
to Bible.
together,
Have you been on Bible Gateway and Bible Hub?
um, no,
Bible,
no, I
yeah,
I
well,
actually
Bible Gateway.
downloaded this.
Oh, yeah, you just like if you go on Bible Gateway or Bible
Hmm.
Hub, Bible Gateway would be the best one because they gives you different versions. They
Okay,
gives you King James, and New King James, ESV, RSV, New Translate.
okay.
It gives you all that. But if you Google Bible Gateway, you could download, or you don't have to download it, but you could just pull that up on in Google, and it gives you all the different translations.
Okay,
Even the
so
one, even the Bible that you have, it'll give you the
right.
translation of that, so you can read. So when you reading this, it would have the exact words
The
on the screen.
exact same words.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I'll probably have to do that then, and
Hmm.
just take this Bible, because I downloaded this out the store, the Microsoft store.
Hmm.
So this is a app.
Oh, this is an
That
app. Yeah,
yeah, it's an app.
that's going to give you a. But that should it. If you go into the app, into the menu, they got different versions in the menu.
Yeah, they like so if I go what is it? This. See, I got the
Oh,
King
okay.
James, I got the King James joint. But when I go here,
Uh-huh.
like it doesn't and I gotta do it in English.
Oh, they don't give you.
Yeah, they don't give me that the
Oh yeah,
new King James. They give me like the American English version
right.
and
Yeah. Yeah,
there we go.
you had to yeah, you should go to Bible Gateway because then you don't have to download it. You don't have to download anything because you know that take up space. But just yeah, you will go to Bible Gateway and it's easy to then you it's in the right hand corner. Every
Mhm.
version, just about every version that you think of, they have it in there in Bible Gateway.
Okay.
Hmm. Or
Alright.
Bible and Bible Hub. Bible Hub, most
Bible Hub.
Bible Hub, Bible Gateway, and Blue Book. I think it's Blue Book Bible or Blue something Bible. That goes into when you get that. That's when that and Bible Hub, the Blue Bible, which I think that's the
Mhm.
same Bible Hub. That's when you get as far as the Greek translation. If you want to know what it says in Greek, or if you want to know what it says in Hebrew, or other
Mm.
little translations, yeah, that's where you go to Blue Bible or Bible Hub. And Bible Gateway will do it to you, but most people use Bible Hub or Blue Bible to get the I guess that's more up to date or more it goes to more details than the
Okay.
other two. So yeah, Bible Hub, Bible Gateway, and
Mhm.
the Blue Bible. I believe the Blue
Okay.
Bible and the Bible Hub is the same, but once you see it in that, no, I don't think
Yeah.
that. Let me see. Let me see. Blue Bible. Because I see a lot use the Blue Bible. Let me see. Yeah, it's called the Blue Letter Bible. Yeah.
Blue Letter Bible.
That's a
Okay.
that's a that's a that's a prayer study Bible. But it got all the like if you want to just type in say you want to go straight to a verse, you
Mhm.
just type it into the keyword the verse, and or if you just say you don't know the exact verse and you just know what it says, you can type that in and it'll take you straight to the verse. It has different and it also has different translations in that. Now that's the best one. The Blue Letter Bible, that's the best one.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people that studies when it comes to studying the Greek, the Hebrew, and different languages and you want to know what it says in the Greek and in the Hebrew or another language, that would be the Blue Letter Bible would be the best one.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. I just put them in my notes now.
Yeah. Yeah. Blue Letter Bible, Bible Hub, and Bible Gateway. Yeah.
Okay. Bible Gateway. All right. Brother 84, what's going on, bruh?
What's going on? What's going on, ACOG? What's up? What's up, man?
How you
You know what I
feeling?
mean?
What
I'm
up,
blessed, man. You know what I mean? I'm good, man. Big bro Von Eric, what up, kid? What up?
brother? What up?
What up? You know what I mean? Yeah, man, I'm good, man. I'm good, man. But I don't know what y'all chopping it up about. I just kind of stepped in. I had a stream earlier, but that's why I stepped in a little bit earlier. But what y'all talking about, man? What y'all chopping it up about?
Okay. So we this Bible study recap. We do Bible study recaps on Wednesdays. And because Tuesday is so booked up for me between Bolo and my church having Bible study, I don't really try to do nothing on Tuesdays. Um but after Bible study Tuesday, we we are here for Bible study recap, and we're going over the parable of the rich man and the poor man. Have you heard that parable?
Is that the one that says it's easier for a poor man to get into heaven than a rich man or something like that? Or
No, 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 no. This is all right, so to understand this parable, because this is a parable that is in the Old Testament. So to understand the rich man and the poor man parable, you have to read Samuel 11, chapter 11. To give you a breakdown of Samuel chapter 11, uh chapter 11, 2 Samuel chapter 11. To give you a breakdown, David ends up seeing Bathsheba. Bathsheba is the wife of Uriah. Uriah is off at war. David sees Bathsheba bathing in the in out there in by the waterside, and David inquires about Bathsheba. So his servants tell him who Bathsheba was. So then he sends the servants to go get Bathsheba. Bathsheba comes to David. They end up laying down together, and Bathsheba ends up conceiving a baby. Now David, knowing that she is pregnant now, he sends a servant to go get Uriah from battle, and tells Uriah, yeah, you've been out there for a minute, here goes some food, go wash up and enjoy yourself. Thinking that Uriah would go home and lay with his wife, but Uriah didn't. He ends up staying at the castle and protecting David and sitting out there with the thought that he may have to go back into war. That he can't. At this time, I'm not. While my people is at war, while you're here, I need to be on guard. I can't be laid up with some woman. Well, it's not really just some woman; it's his wife. But you know what I mean. Um, so then that didn't work. So then David gets Uriah drunk, thinking that if he had like a little powwow with him, got him nice and drunk, that he would go lay with his wife, but he didn't. So after those two things didn't work, David sends Uriah back to the battle, but tells them that Uriah has to be on the front line, knowing that being on the front line will ultimately end with Uriah's demise, which it did. Um, then after the message came back that Uriah had died in battle, Bathsheba mourns, and then David sends for Bathsheba to come to him, and he takes Bathsheba in as his wife. So then after that, the Lord sends Nathan. That's what we have up here right now. This is chapter 12. The Lord sends Nathan to David, and he tells him to give him this parable. The parable is there were two men, one city, one rich, the other poor. The rich man had exceedingly many flocks and herds. The poor man had nothing. The poor man had nothing save one little ewe lamb, which he had brought and nourished up, and it grew up together with him and with his children. It did eat of his own meat and drank of his own cup, and lay in his bosom, and was unto him as a daughter. And then there came a traveler unto the rich man, and he spared to take his own flock and his own and of his own herd to dress for the wayfaring man that was come unto him, but took the poor man's lamb and dressed it for the man that was come to him. And David's anger was greatly kindled against the man, and he said to Nathan, "As the Lord lived, the man that had done this thing surely will die, and he shall restore the lamb fourfold because he did this thing, and because he had no pity." And Nathan said to David that you are the man. So that's the end of the parable. So this parable is referring to two men. Is referring to two men, one rich, one poor. David is the rich man. The poor man is Uriah. Okay. The ewe lamb, the little ewe lamb that the poor man had is Bathsheba. The exceedingly many flocks and herds is David's concubines and all his many wives and stuff. Okay. The wayfaring man is not really a man. The wayfaring man is symbolizing the temptation that David had for Bathsheba. So what the parable is saying, that David took David took Bathsheba David took Uriah's only woman, which was Bathsheba, which is the lamb. And instead of him being with his own many flocks of women and stuff that he had, instead of him, okay, all right, my fault. Vaughn said he had to go eat with the family. It's, instead of him taking of his own, he took the only thing that the poor man had.
Mm-hmm.
And he took the only woman that Uriah had. And he took that, he had no pity about doing it. And we see that with his actions. He took and laid down with this woman, conceived a child, and then had no pity about sending him out into the army to die. So this parable is showing us a sense of covetousness, and covetousness is the mother of sins. It births multitude of sins. It births theft, murder, adultery, greed, lust, so forth and so on. So covetousness has a lot of different sins attached to it. And while we're reading this, we can identify a lot of the sins that David committed. David committed adultery. He committed theft. He stole from Uriah, which would be his woman. It shows the greed that David had. Instead of him being with the multitude of women that he had to have more. Murder. He sent even though he didn't take Uriah's life by hand, he knew that putting him on the front line would be his demise. Um, Lust. Once he seen Bathsheba, he immediately started lusting for her and had the temptation for her. So we're seeing
Okay. Okay.
we're
Mm.
seeing a lot of sins being committed in this one parable by David.
Okay. Well, all right. So I'll build on that. I'll build on that from the top, for the moment I'm here for. But okay. The funny thing about what you're sharing is most people are like that. Even I'm like that sometimes,
Mhm.
right? If I want something and I really want it bad enough, I'm just gonna it's just gonna be what it is. I don't care
Mhm.
in what retrospect it is. I mean, we all have that. So I don't want anybody to think that David is such a horrible, horrible person. No, we all have this in our nature. If you're really honest with yourself, you will see that you ain't no better than David. You ain't.
Mhm.
And you ain't no and for the women, you ain't no better than Bathsheba. You ain't no better. You ain't. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of times it really depends on where we're at spiritually with God, and it also depends on whether we care about the person that we're interacting with. You know what I mean? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Or we care about the people that are involved. Or we care about ourselves to that nature, right? Because that also takes self value to not do certain things, right?
Yep.
Um, but trust me, all of our natural instincts are the same way. We are operating off that same thing. Like I said, it all just depends on spiritually where we at with God, and also, like I said, the nature of our relationships. The reason I say that is because if we just look at how the world is now, a good 80% of, I won't say 90% of people operate off that same way. You know what I mean? If they really want to do something, they don't care if it's at your expense. They don't care if they have to even take it from you. They don't care if it even affects you or if it hurts you, right? They don't even care if you're not even doing well health wise. Yeah, I put it out there. Yes, they don't care
Mhm.
about that either, right? Their main concern is, you know, does it benefit me? Am I enjoying this in this moment? You know what I mean? And this is why at times, I'm not gonna hold you by saying this, but excuse me. At times, I'd rather deal with unbelievers than so-called believers. At times, because with an unbeliever, I can see exactly what you're about. You know what I mean? You let me
Mhm.
know exactly what you're about. You show me, I know what it is, and I can just move accordingly. Right? We ain't gotta. I ain't gotta second think nothing. You've made it clear where you stand, and now I can deal with you appropriately. But then when you're dealing with so-called believers or people who claim to believe, man, you be thinking that they one way, and then all of a sudden, boom, you know what I mean? The hammer get dropped on you. Like, where this come from?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? We supposed to be such and such or whatever, whatever, right? You know what I mean? So a lot of times, yeah, it's easier to deal with those who don't believe. You know what I mean? At times, right? Because I can see your motives. I know what engine you operating off of. I already know you're just most of the time you're gonna be about yourself and selfish, and that I can deal with, right? Because now I know where you at. But the hard part is when you don't know where the person is at. That's the hardest part, right? So
Mhm.
with David and Uriah, there had to be a level of trust there, right? So because there was a level of trust there, Uriah trusted David because he was supposed to be the king of Israel. He was supposed to be a man of God. He was supposed to be this, that, and the third, right? He had all these titles and things that he's supposed to be. And in retrospect, he was, right? The thing was that David wasn't perfect. And in his imperfection, he had sins and he had things that he did. Even within his own household. If you read more about, David and his kingdom, you
Mhm.
know, yeah, he made a ton of mistakes, right? And that's why when people always ask for power or money, what people don't understand, man. I gotta do a bolo right now. What cats don't understand, right? Do the bolo. What people don't understand is that when you ask for power, money, influence, or any type of thing, popularity or anything, fame, anything of those things are they're hard to handle, right?
Mhm.
And remember, before David had all of this, you know, before all of that, and when he was just, he was just Jonathan's right hand man, and he did the whole Goliath thing and all that. He didn't have all these issues before, right? He didn't
Nope.
have all of that. None of this was going down, right? But as soon as he get the money, the power, the acclaim, the fame, and the notoriety in the kingdom, all these things start to befall him because it's people understand it's a lot of pressure when you get
Mhm.
those things, right? That's when the enemy starts to attack you. That's when the temptation hits. You know what I mean? Because now, you know, you have things at your disposal that normally you wouldn't have. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? You wouldn't have access to Uriah's wife, you know what I mean, if you weren't the king, right? You wouldn't
Yep.
have access to all the concubines if you wasn't the king, right? All these things would not have happened if you don't have that type of power and that type of notoriety and money and all that. None of that's coming to you. But now that you have that, yeah, everything hits you, right? Now all the temptation hits you. Now you're seeing stuff like this on a regular basis, right? You're seeing all types of things on a regular basis. So yeah, you know what I mean? And in that, most of us, if not all of us, you know, if we don't have a good foundation, I think in David in his retrospect, just looking at the situation, I felt like, he didn't have he I know he had the prophet there to advise him, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I also could see that he didn't have a lot of advisors. You know what I mean? He didn't have a lot of people holding him accountable. A lot of people saying, "Hey, man, what you doing?" Or, "Hey, man, he spent a lot of time alone, a little bit too much time alone." And when you spend too much time alone, you don't have people advising you or people there that you can fellowship with. Yeah, the enemy gonna play with you. Enemy gonna be
Mhm.
tempting you with a whole bunch of stuff, right? That's with anybody, but especially a king. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah, man, I think the lesson to be learned here is that, um, you know, we all just have to understand that, you know, we all could succumb to this, work out salvation and with fear and trembling, you know,
Mhm.
and whether you are rich or poor, please understand that we all go through temptations, we all go through things that can affect us, and at times it just shows that man is flawed. It shows that man is flawed, and we have to rely on God. We got to
Yep.
truly rely on God. We have to. You know what I mean? If we're not relying on God and we're not trusting in God, you know, we're going to be sorely disappointed. We're going to be sorely hurt by the things that men do. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and those who are in leadership positions also, the lesson to be learned is that, um, be mindful of the people that admire you or look up to you, right? Because people are gonna look up to you and they're gonna look at you in a certain light. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And in that, you have to be accountable and responsible. But also another lesson is, people are flawed. Leaders gonna be flawed, so gotta understand that, man. Leaders are gonna be flawed, baby. You know what I mean? So you looking for a leader to be your end all and be all, like he's God. He's not gonna be that. He's gonna disappoint. I don't care who y'all vote for. I don't care who you think is in power. They're gonna be flawed. Y'all think that the guy that's doing things politically now is flawed? Give it wait till we get past these 2.5, 3.5 years, and they put somebody else up in there. Y'all gonna see that they flawed too, right? And they probably be more liberal, and y'all probably have more freedoms and more different things. But there will be more. There'll be flaws. There will be flaws. So don't think that just because one administration is leaving, now you get a whole nother one. Everything gonna be milk and honey. No, because you're dealing with humans. So there's gonna be flaws. Okay, anytime you're dealing with humans, you're gonna have flaws. So that's another lesson to be learned as well. So y'all land there, family.
Man, I'm glad you said that. Because you you're right. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect, and it shows. Even though David was, you know, in the Lord, and he knew the Lord, and he gave everything that he had to the Lord, he still had a moment of weakness where lust kicked in, and his ego and pride, and you know was greater than him following the Lord, and what the Lord wanted. He was in a sense of power that, once he got there, it took over at a moment. Like he wouldn't expect himself to do that. Like you said, back in his time as being a shepherd, and following um I forget his name, but being a shepherd, he wouldn't have seen himself doing that. And just that little moment just that little moment caused him to commit a major sin that we see throughout the rest of the chapter, stem down throughout the time of him being king. God punished him in a way that it affected his household. It affected the baby that he was ready to conceive and stuff. And well, that Bathsheba was ready to conceive. It affected him in a major way, but it still didn't break his faith and love for the Lord. That's the whole thing. That when we go through certain things like that, and we face our consequences for our sins and stuff, that it doesn't break the faith and love that we have for the Lord. So this is a dope parable. Shouts out to Minister Lisa for this parable, and this eye opening experience that a lot of us can use and take for example and stuff. Um, Shouts out to everybody who came in. Shouts out to my mama, love you, mama. Shouts out to Mo Love. Shouts out to my brother Soap in the building, came and kicked it with me, gave me his input. Shouts out to Von Eric, rocking out with me and helping me with tonight's parable. Shouts out to my brother B. Love you, bro. My uncle was laughing about that book too. He was like, I expect your parable to be hitting on something. Now that you got that book, that book got a lot of info. You should be your parable should be, yeah, man. So he was messing with me about that. Shouts out to my uncle. But yeah, that's the end of this for tonight. I'll see y'all tomorrow with faith and growth. Ready, go ahead and find some more videos. Do some searching for some more videos, and we gonna talk about that one video I have saved for y'all. We're gonna talk about that one. We probably start off with that before we get into the other videos. But salutes to Brother Bolo for the awesome music. We're gonna go ahead and listen to that one more time before we get out of here. And yeah, thanks everybody for kicking it with me for tonight. I see y'all on the next one.
Brooklyn, new. Click the edit, raise me with a siren, sing lullabies. Through conversations, taught me truth before the books got wise. Corner store confessions, dollar chips and broken dreams. With a block could turn a halo to a hustle overnight, it seems. I seen prayers scribbled on the back of late notices. Mama's faith iron, hoping to my jeans like it was sewn in this. Cold winters, high tempers, short fuses, long nights. I learned early God don't flinch when the odds bite. I was walking with a pavement, knew my government. Cracks in the sidewalk, matching cracks in my confidence. They said the city don't love you, it uses you. But God met me in the grime and said I still choose you. I speak fluent survival, my tongue got a borough accent. Every bar carry weight like the cross when it's balanced. I don't rap to escape, I rap to document how grace pulled me out the chokehold, consequences sin. See, I was dancing with wolves, but heaven kept watch. Angels double parked outside the trap spot when my name was one bad choice. From a mugshot frame, he rerouted my steps, then reroute my pain. That's Brooklyn theology, learned it in hallways where the elevator smelled like regret and no bouquets. I watch queens turn losses into legacies and kings fold under pressure, chasing temporary thrones impressively. I rhyme with intention, every sentence got breath. I ain't chasing applause, I survived being left when silence was loud and the nights talk back. God whispered purpose when my post lost track. I studied the grace, lessons hidden in rhythm, where the truth hit harder than the kick in the snare system. Precision in thought, elevation in speech. If I say it, I mean it, I don't reach. From mossy echoes to thoughts, mental gym. I learn intellect, move crowds quicker than rims. And Big taught me vision, paint scenes with your voice. So when I speak of redemption, you can hear the choice. I changed lanes mid-sentence, no signal, no pause. Faith gave me range, not just punchlines and flaws. One breath I'm offended, next breath I'm sharp. Scripture in the marrow, city in the heart. I was baptized by fire, escapes and stairwells. Learned heaven got Wi-Fi in the deepest hells. When my prayers bounced back like checks insufficient, God covered defeat, called it divine assistance. I done seen hunger teach patience better than sermons. Empty fridge, full face, that's a Brooklyn discernment. We didn't have much, but we had belief. And God stretched meals the same way he stretched me. Now I walk with authority, not arrogance though. Confidence clean when you know where you grow. I don't erase the scars, I reference them. Testimony heavy like the borough's rent. I speak for the girls who had to grow up fast, who learned strength early, cause softness didn't last. God didn't make me hard, he made me solid. There's a difference when your spirit ain't rotted. I don't flex for the cameras, I move with intent. Every step sanctified, every word heaven sent. If I'm here, it's purpose. If I'm loud, it's praise. If I pause, it's respect for the process and the days. I seen fake gods fall with a chain snap sound. Seen real faith lift folks when they face planted ground. I don't sell miracles, I live proof. From cracked concrete roots to unshakable truth. So when I rap, it's scripture stitched in street slang. A Brooklyn song with a boom bap bang. God didn't just save me, he sharpened my sight. Turned my struggle into structure, my wrongs into right. I stand here clean, no halo cosplay. Just a woman from the borough who found a way. And every bar testify, every verse confess that grace got hands and it knows my address.